Hello my nudes, how's it going? I hope you're having a fun time. I'm back. I have had several lovely sleeps and time to ponder on what I think about Mixtape. Before I let you know my thoughts though, apologies if you hear a noise in the background. We're in the middle of a massive heat wave at the moment and I've got 69 fans running to help me stay cool.
69 dudes!
Back to the review. I'd seen a couple of video titles mentioning some kind of controversy surrounding Mixtape, but I didn't watch them so I could get into the game with a fresh mind and not be swayed by other people's opinions. So, with that in mind, warning, spoilers ahead obviously.
What is Mixtape about?
Mixtape is set during the summer, sometime in the 1990s. The exact year isn't specified, but as they mention Nirvana and Pearl Jam in passing, I'm hazarding a guess at mid-90s, as they started to fall off a bit after 1995, Nirvana especially after Kurt Cobain's death.
You got your eye on anyone tonight, Cass?
Any college boy will do. Maybe Mark Rivera.
What's he listen to?
Just alt stuff, I think. Pearl Jam, Green Day.
He's a meathead. Use him and lose him.
So cold, Stacy.
Tells me everything I need to know.
While not knowing the exact year of the game isn't necessary, it would have been nice to have been given a clue, as some of the tech featured in the background seems to be at odds with what I remember being available around 1995. We join our main character, Stacey Rockford, and her friends Van Slater and Cassandra Marino as they navigate their last day together before Stacey heads off to New York to become a big shot in the music industry, and Van and Cass head off on a road trip. A trip Stacey had promised to join them on, but backed out of to stalk some random music producer in the Big Apple.
You're still going through with this?
Afraid so. I leave for the airport at 6 a.m.
You've ruined our road trip.
I know this.
What's the name of this woman who's tearing us apart?
Bella Deltone.
So you fly to New York, you give this woman your mixtape, and what, she just hires you?
After she listens to the mixtape, yeah. I'll become the world's foremost music supervisor. Once Bella Deltone hears my mixtape, she'll make me her protege.
Why do you have to leave tomorrow, though?
Only time I got a window to catch Bella Deltone. She's back in New York before she bunkers down for summer shoots. I'm gonna bump into her at Roastery on Franklin and Broadway. She's a regular.
So, you're stalking her?
I'm stalking her.
The story moves through a series of scenes at various locations around a Big Suck. That's the name Stacey's given to her hometown. And the locations we see are Stacey's bedroom, her sister's room, which leads them on a quest to find booze. More on that later. We head over to Cass's house, then Van's, and finally attend the party of the year thrown by the legendary Camille Cole.
The gameplay.
I would have to ask a question here. What gameplay? You basically move through a series of scenes that you have little control over. You can't deviate from the set pattern of the narrative. There's no running off to explore parts of the dinosaur park, for example, and you have to examine every single item in a room in order to unlock the next one to progress the story. When you do get to control the characters, it's so unintuitive and often not at all obvious. Sometimes I would just be standing there thinking that Van or Cass were going to say something, only to realise the movement has been handed over to me and it didn't make it clear at all. All it would take would be for a little icon on the screen to show you you're in control, and that would have saved me probably, 10 minutes of just standing around doing nothing like a muppet. And when it is sort of obvious you are in control of the character, the camera placement and random camera zooming in and out or moving left and right without your input is really off-putting. The camera seems to sit at just the wrong angle for skateboarding to make any sense to my brain, so it was quite difficult to control, let alone enjoy the limited tricks your character can do. But skateboarding makes sense in the context of this game. Being blown around by some freak wind or flying cars in a blatant Grease rip-off makes no sense whatsoever. Oh, and the film Grease? That was from 1978, by the way, so it's not even a period-appropriate rip-off. I get that flying is a narrative device to highlight the carefree joys of youth and how our three characters will soon be moving into an adult world and tethered to solid ground, but considering the characters were constantly talking about getting drunk or high, why not make it a proper trip which would actually make sense? The only thing I can think of is that if they had made this some kind of drug-fueled trip which would make sense in the narrative of the story, they then had to remove all of those references to get the game to its PEGI 16 rating, instead of PEGI 18, which would have hurt sales. But even then you have our characters talking about getting drunk, and they're only 17.
Is it beer before weed? You're on your knees? Or something?
Grass before beer, you're in the clear. Beer before grass, you're on your ass.
What about, like, grass, beer, beer, grass, vodka, grass?
That's a good start. I'm bored. I'm too young to be this bored. You want to get blackout drunk in a field?
I can't.
Doesn't have to be a field. Could be a ditch.
Now in the UK that wouldn't be that much of a big deal, as you can legally drink at 18. Some of the best parties I went to were when I was 17, but that's only a year under the legal drinking age here. And yet these guys are 4 years under the US legal drinking age and going on constantly about Pinot Grigio, which, by the way, was not a thing in the early to mid-1990s. That stuff didn't get anyone in a chokehold until the early 2000s. But anyway, that leads me on to the main gripe with this game.
The youth the heck is this game for?
Seriously, who exactly is this game aimed at? If it's aimed at kids who grew up in the 90s and would have actually experienced this era like the characters, which is me by the way, not to age myself, they missed the mark massively. No one spoke the way these characters did, certainly not in any media I watched.
Bored of sex and drugs?
How could you get bored of it?
Cha.
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 The only characters I can think of that would be close to this were the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. We couldn't call them Ninja Turtles in the UK, in case kids started to karate chop each other.
Good shit. Gnarly. Radical. Yeah. Totally ridiculous, dude.
The mixtape soundtrack is all over the place too. I know that songs aren't cheap to license, but surely there must have been some better songs from the period that could have been added in. Out of the 22 licensed tracks used, only 6 are period relevant. One is bizarrely from 2014, and the rest are a pretentious mishmash of 70s and 80s, most of which I would think were chosen for 2 reasons. First, they're cheap to license. Secondly, Stacy, the lead character who's a self-insert for game producer Johnny Galvatron,
Behold, Galvatron.
yes, that is his name, has to prove that she's so much better at music than anyone else, including us, the player. And that's why we get these random tracks thrown onto the mixtape. I'm certain there are so many better tracks that could have been chosen. And yes, I guess this is Stacey's mixtape to a perfect day, but when that mixtape includes David Gray, then I'm sorry, Stacey, but you have less musical credibility than Jenny fucking Goodspeed. So we've discarded the fact that this game could be for Zennials and Elder Millennials.
How do you do, fellow kids?
So what about Gen Z? They're all into nostalgia core, right? I don't think it can be because it explains nothing about the era it's set in. Even the majority of the music in it is from before the time the game is set. So again, who is this for? The only thing that makes sense to me is that it's a vanity project for producer Johnny Galvatron to prove to the world how knowledgeable he is about music, and it's him, and only him, that can put together the perfect game soundtrack.
Because my mixtapes bend others to my will. It's a strange, almost cosmic talent.
Unbelievable.
Which is either very self-absorbed or completely narcissistic. And speaking of narcissism,
The characters. issue.
In media, whether it's books, films, or games, you're supposed to feel a level of affinity with a lead character. You don't have to like them, but you need to feel associated with them in some way. In fact, some of the best characters are those that you hate, but as you progress through their story, you see character growth and appreciate them for it, even if you still really don't like them. With Stacy, though, she's a character that does not have a single redeeming quality, something I called out within the first few minutes of the game.
The compact disc delivers crisp, high-fidelity audio in a portable form factor with
Alright, you're
a
annoying
16-bit
already.
signal and a
She's pretentious as hell. It's her music or no music at all. If she doesn't like a song, then it doesn't exist in the world. And woe betide you if you say you're not really interested in something as mundane as a film soundtrack, because that will make you Stacy's mortal enemy for life.
Were you out front of the Cineplex last night?
Oh yeah, I saw something with aliens. It was boring. Close Encounters 3?
Oh, what a soundtrack, huh? All time.
I don't really listen to the music. I just watch it.
I know everything I need to know about you.
Be there. Nice to see you.
God, I hate Jenny fucking Goodspeed.
The thing is, music is subjective. What I like, you probably won't, and vice versa. But the game puts Stacy front and centre of all musical knowledge, a gatekeeper to a wonderful art form, and one that she puts over her friendships to the point of practically destroying them.
You promised you'd go to Camille Cole's party.
What?
You promised! It'll ruin my soundtrack.
Oh,
I'm
piss
fucking
off.
grounded.
Sneak out.
I wouldn't have to sneak out if you weren't leaving.
What a bitch.
That's my opinion!
And because of my immediate and almost visceral loathing of Stacy, who is in no way redeemed as there is no character development at all, I couldn't care less about her music, or her day, and how it gets ruined. And that makes the game completely meaningless, and as a result, was a massive contributor to how bored I was as the story dragged on from one rubbish musical track to the next. I'm quite bored. And that is not what a computer game is supposed to do to you, is it? Is it bad that I've been keeping an eye on how long I've been playing? Just so I know how long I've got left. That's how disinterested I am. I'd never felt like giving up on a game through boredom before. But congrats, Mixtape. You won that dubious honour. It took all of my will when I got to the hour and 15 mark to keep slogging through whatever this crap was.
Next, the head is going home with the critics.
Multiple gaming critics have given Mixtape 10 out of 10 scores, and I can think of a couple of reasons for this. The first is that it's not a multiplayer online live service game crammed to the rafters with microtransactions and illegal loot boxes disguised as game mechanics. For reviewers, Mixtape must seem like a breath of fresh air. Visually, it also looks good. I won't go as far as to call the graphics stunning, but it is very pretty. But there is a massive disconnect with reviewers and gamers. As I'm typing this, there are under 300 people playing this game on Steam. 300. That's hardly giving a 10 out of 10 game, is it? So how did they get so many 10 out of 10 reviews? I'm sure it has nothing at all
Nothing at all, I tell you.
to do with the game's publisher being founded by Megan Ellison. Does that surname sound familiar to you? It should. It's been all over the news recently. Megan Ellison is the daughter of Oracle boss Larry Ellison, who now also owns the US arm of TikTok, and she's the sister of David Ellison, owner of Skydance, who recently bought Paramount, which led to the Stephen Colbert Show being given the boot. So it's not like she's short of a few bob or two to grease the wheel, metaphorically speaking. Although I'm not suggesting anything untoward happened, of course. Don't sue me, I'm poor.
Needle's final thoughts.
Mixtape isn't a good game. But Mixtape is not a bad game. Because Mixtape is not a game. It's barely more than an interactive novel that serves as one person's ego trip when it comes to musical taste. I can't recommend it. Heck, I only played it because it was free on PC Game Pass and I could play through it via the cloud rather than wasting my time installing it. If you're interested in it, then watch a playthrough with it on in the background. You're not missing out on much by not concentrating on it, and you'll be glad you didn't waste 3 hours of your life where you could have been doing something much more constructive. So that's my thoughts on Mixtape. Have you played it? Would you give it 10 out of 10? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, my nudes, don't force your musical taste on other people like Stacey fucking Rockford does. Have a good one.